we talking about tonight?
We're doing off the cuff.
Okay, nice. Are you starting to not like them as much, Katie? I still like them.
I love them.
Oh, okay, good. Hey, Kim and Katie.
Hey, Nay.
Hey, Nay.
Hey, guess what?
What?
I got this fun thing. So my sister-in-law, shout out to Marcy.
Yay, Marcy.
She is a longtime listener. And she said to me she loves to listen to our podcast, is that Nay looks just like her grandpa.
Oh, no way.
And her grandpa has passed away. So it's like having like these conversations with her grandpa and stuff, listening.
Oh, that's so sweet. So, Nay, as her grandpa, what do you want to say to Marcy?
Marcy.
Marcy, a stitch in time saves 9.
Wisdom.
Oh, that's good, Marcy. I think you'll like that.
or Marcy, no.
No pain,
each
no gain.
knows each knows best how his own shoe pincheth.
Each knows best.
Each knows best
how his
shoe
own
pinches.
Pincheth.
Okay.
So it means you can't judge other people. Everybody knows their own troubles and what they're up against, you know. So you look at the perfect family and you just remember they're not really perfect. Each knows best what his own shoe, how his own shoe pincheth.
Yes.
Marcy's going to be like, yes, I could picture my grandpa saying that.
Early to bed, early to rise makes a man or woman healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Okay. Oh, good. More wisdom from Nay, Marcy.
Yeah.
From your grandpa.
I have something to say about little proverbs like that, which it was a pleasure to get to use because I was trying to be Marcy's grandfather or great-great-great-great-grandfather or whatever when those sayings were around.
Started, yeah.
Yeah. But you know how we say that, like, on the internet, negativity takes over because it could just say, like, some little thing and make the other side look silly in just a few words by kind of sarcastically making fun of them. I was like, oh, that's a good point. They never have to engage with the argument. They don't have to say anything smart. And they just instantly destroy the argument. But maybe in the olden days, proverbs were kind of the positive side's rebuttal to that. You know, because like a stitch in time saves 9. Okay, one little phrase, and you've already like sort of proven how important being prepared and stuff, like doing things ahead of time is. I don't know if we want to delve into this at all, maybe another time, but that occurred to me the other day that maybe that's what we could say back to people.
Proverbs.
Yeah,
Proverbs.
I mean, I think you could get away with that, Nay, and people would be like, oh, that's sweet. But clever. But I don't know. Can I say a proverb and have people think I'm normal?
I think we should try it. If someone starts to argue with us, I think we should have a few good proverbs in the back of our mind and then whip that out. Then they'll be like stunned, like, well, what do you say back to that?
Yeah.
So if I say a stitch in time,
I know.
Yeah, a stitch in time is like 9. A stitch in time is like 9.
Saves 9.
Saves 9.
Yeah, because if you don't do it ahead of time, then you have to do 9 to fix the problem that you didn't stop in time.
But my proverbs will all be wrong, and then they'll be really thinking it through, like, wow. Like,
we'll just throw them a proverb that doesn't even, like, I'll say, well, there's bats in the belfry, and then move on.
Yeah.
And they're like, what does that mean?
Yes.
Exactly. just won the argument. Mic drop.
Yeah. And that's what you do. You'll mic drop and walk away.
Yeah. And they won't want to admit they don't get it. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I'll
We
be
should
like,
all try to use "There's Bats in the Belfry" this week.
okay,
Yes.
That should be our
Yeah.
goal.
that's our challenge.
Our podcast
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah, and then if they even question, you'll be like, what? Do I even have to explain? And then move on. This is from Molly Raymond. Doom scrolling. This might be your thing, Kim. Doom scrolling. Our addiction to YouTube or social media.
Oh, it's like
What
a
do we-
prompt,
A
not a
prompt.
question. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just
Yeah.
doom scrolling, our addiction, go.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Doom scrolling. YouTube, social media. Okay.
It's funny because I think a lot of people doom scroll, I think, on YouTube a lot. And
Mhm.
that is something I never, ever get on YouTube. I never get on YouTube.
Neither do I.
Oh, that's where I doom scroll.
That's where
Is
you
YouTube.
doom scroll. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, Nay. You do love the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up doom scrolling and see what it says exactly because sometimes I think we're saying it wrong.
Well, I'm
Like-
picturing exactly. We're doom scrolling. We're just sitting
Well,
there
what's
scrolling
doom
reel
about it?
after reel.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
because
I'm just gonna.
it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's
It's
when
just
you're
like-
not thinking about it anymore. Like if you look up
Yeah.
even 10, 20 how-to videos about some project, that doesn't count. It's the mindlessness, the losing
Yeah.
time mindlessly.
Okay, but this is.
But
I'm going to
look it
read
up.
what AI brought it up, and this is
Okay.
what I was thinking. There's more to the doom than we're saying. Because I
Oh,
think there's one thing about going down a rabbit hole and wasting a bunch of time, or doom scrolling is different
Yeah,
in
but
my
a
mind.
rabbit hole, you're actually
Mindlessness.
researching. A doom scroll is you're just scrolling
okay, well,
whatever
this
reel
is-
comes up next.
Okay, but this is doom scrolling is
wait,
Right.
what AI are you using?
Google AI.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's the worst.
I know.
Not
Just kidding.
definitive,
That's why I
Let's hear it.
said. But
I'll
with
ask-
stuff
Let's hear it.
like this, it's usually right.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't
let's hear
know.
it.
I don't want to do more than
It's
just
right.
put it in. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Doom scrolling, but this makes sense. Doom scrolling is the compulsive consumption of excessive amounts of negative news. See, that's the doom
Negative.
part.
Negative news.
Negative news and distressing information online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I don't doom scroll.
Yeah, often on social media, leading to increased anxiety, stress, fatigue, and poor sleep.
Oh, that is
Oh,
interesting.
So it's more emphasis on the doom.
The doom part.
You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of what
Yeah.
ChatGPT says. Endlessly scrolling through negative or distressing content online.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
So is
Yeah.
it more like news?
This whatever makes it negative
This
for you.
includes news, social media posts, comments, anything about crises, conflicts, or things that make the future feel bleak.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
It says this self-destructive habit amplified during crisis like pandemics, hijacks, or natural threat detection wiring, creating a vicious cycle of negativity that harms mental and physical well-being. Though it can be managed by setting limits, taking breaks, and seeking healthier coping mechanisms.
I just think you just have to be careful. It's a tool, and what are you using the tool for, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
But
and
where's
it's-
the line between news and distressing news? Because all news is distressing.
yeah.
I think
Pretty
it depends on the person. Like I can, doom scrolling might look different for me than say Kim or Nay. You know, like I tend to be able to keep like national news pretty objective. Like it doesn't really bother me because I'm very aware of like, oh, like what's even true. You know, I don't put a lot of stock in news. You know, I just know there's a
No.
lot of angles to it. I mean, but that's not what everyone feels. That just happens to be how I feel. So the news doesn't really cause me doom scrolling. Where
No.
let's say Well, let's say I have a real insecurity with my parenting abilities, which I kind of do. If I read a lot about like how a person should parent and what's healthy and stuff like that, can become doom scrolling for me, I guess. You know what I mean? But if I was a real like confident parent and I know what everything I'm doing is so great, that wouldn't really get to me. Does that
That's a
make
Yeah.
good point.
sense?
Well, I guess
Yeah.
you're going off of that exclamation.
Ex excla Wait, now I can't.
Explanation.
Explanation. Yeah.
Explanation.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'm a real doom scroller because I don't sit and get anxiety over anything I'm scrolling. I don't
Yeah.
sit and like get like doomed. Like I don't
Right.
feel that
Yeah.
heavy
I don't either.
thing.
I mean, I use that parenting one as an example, but I don't really
Yeah,
sit and do that. But yeah,
right, right.
I think that, but I do know people that can get, like, I have a
Yeah,
good friend who, just being on social media is like doom scrolling to her because she's seeing what everybody is doing with their families, and it makes her feel like she's not doing enough, and it
yeah,
makes her
yeah.
feel
That
really stressed out, and she has to take breaks and get off of it for that reason,
right.
because
Yeah, that
it affects her mental stability.
right.
So
Yes. I mean,
yeah.
that definitely makes more, that's more relevant, I think, to me also. But as far as like watching, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
watch dumb stuff.
Yeah,
I
so
watch
do
a
I watch
ton
cat
of
videos. Oh.
plays back and forth.
Oh my gosh. That's doom
I
scrolling for
know.
me. That would be
Yeah,
so
that's doom
boring.
scrolling for you.
No, it wouldn't be. It'd be boring scrolling.
I want to say that too. Maybe I don't doom scroll. Maybe I just waste time. So it's not really just the wasting time.
Well, let's talk about what would be doom scrolling for us.
Yeah,
Let's think
well,
about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
let's open up and tell our insecurities. Great idea.
Let's do it. I'm not afraid.
So that when I go to bed tonight, I'll be so scared. I know I can't think of it. I'm like,
Let's
as you were
see.
doing the explanation, I was sitting there trying to think in my head where I've had that feeling ever
Uh-huh.
of like um anxiousness from watching any of the uh anything.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
political stuff, even like
mhm.
whatever. I
Yeah.
haven't ever had that feeling of like
Neither have
oh
I.
man, we're in trouble. I'm worried.
I know people
I
that
know.
really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I guess
Well,
if you went down a rabbit hole of something like, some assassination or some, like we've had a couple attempts on the president's life. If you went down some rabbit hole about Charlie Kirk, or if you went down, or maybe something about a child being hurt, something that affects you,
mhm.
Yeah.
then that
Oh,
would.
I'll tell you. I have an example, I
Okay, good.
guess.
All right.
It's I saw you know how your algorithm changes when you watch a video, then you watch another. Anyway, mine for a while were these girls filling up their car at night at gas stations and then getting like uh taken or like kidnapped, I don't know, whatever, like from the
Abducted.
cameras of the gas
Mhm.
stations.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so I started like I'd text Olivia and Sierra and be like, guys, do not get gas at night, like by yourself. And
Yeah.
if you do, make sure you are aware of your surroundings. And if someone jumps out of out of their car at you, take your gas out and spray them with gas. Because I saw someone do that.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's smart. I'm going to
Yeah.
remember to do that. It never
Yeah,
gave me
that's doom.
anxiety
No,
necess
that's
well, yeah,
yeah.
but I didn't get like I couldn't sleep, but I was actively telling them, now make sure, and they'd be like, Mom, you worry too much. And because of these videos that I
Mhm.
watched
Mhm.
about this certain, thing
Yeah.
happening. So
It's like what happens is it shrinks your world. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
when you get focused
yes,
on politics or you get focused on like being abducted,
Just
any of
yeah.
these doom
Yeah.
scrolling things,
Mm-hmm.
you start feeling like it's a bigger issue than really what's out
Shoot.
in the world.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it makes you afraid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's an unnatural way of, your mental health. I can just see, like, you're just sitting there after you've seen so much of it, you're just like, well, our country's going down the tubes, or we're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
get
I could
abducted
see.
every time we go get gas. So it's
Yeah, or
interesting.
something.
Yeah.
The algorithm really responds to stuff pretty reliably. I mean, there's still random stuff that you don't know how it got there, but pretty much it follows your likes.
Nay, I think you should pipe up with something because you have a lot of knowledge.
You
Although you
doom
don't.
scroll all the time. Tell us.
Doom
Like, what could be
scrolling.
upsetting to you if you were to
Right,
go down
right.
that?
Well, I did think of uh, some examples, not so much from doom scrolling, but from my media consumption. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I watch something too gory and it
Oh yeah.
disturbs me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
think, oh, it's probably got some fight scenes in it, but it'll be fine. And then something happens that's really like too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be an example.
Yeah. And what do you do in those situations? Do you keep yourself from watching more, or do you tend to just be like, oh,
Well, it's
well?
not the best idea because it's in a, I mean, a best example because it's in a movie. So, I mean, the scene happens and you figure out what's happening, you turn away or whatever, then you turn back, because it's
Mm-hmm.
20
Yeah.
seconds later or whatever. But in doom scrolling, that would like latch on to me. Well, I don't think it would, but I guess in doom scrolling, that would latch on to you and be like, whoa, how'd they do that? Ooh, that's
Yeah.
gross. Oh,
Yeah.
how'd they, let me see the special effects. Let me find a video about behind the scenes. And then you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh.
Yeah.
And
Getting
it
way too into it.
gets more and more into you. And then you
Mm-hmm.
find yourself having nightmares and not being able to sleep. And so you snap at your family and then you get
Right.
divorced.
Right. Right. Because it's upsetting you. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good example, I would say.
Snap at your family.
She also put in that question, our social addictions in general.
Our
And
addiction to YouTube social media.
so there's doom scrolling, which is kind of more specific, but then there's our addiction to our phones in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
like what if we tackled the question from the angle we originally were going to, which was just wasting time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a real
We
problem.
can all relate to
Mm-hmm.
that, certainly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what's interesting is um like scrolling on Instagram, going through reels, an hour goes by really fast. Like I've been noticing this a lot. An hour goes by really fast, and then something else that I'm doing, an hour goes by really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's not very entertaining or I'm trying to get through something, an hour goes by really slow. But watching a reel will go by like reel after reel. An hour will pass, and I'll be like, "What the heck? It's already been
Mm-hmm.
an hour." Like
Mm-hmm.
so, it's yeah, mindless, mindless.
I've wondered about that. This is what I've thought. Well, before phones, did we have other things that were so
Yeah.
fun or so like eating up time? We're told it's a bad thing, and I've seen it in my own life, if I'm on too much. But were there things before the phone that would do that? Like, is the phone getting a bad rap?
Oh, like I would go out and practice free throws and layups, and oh my goodness, I've already missed supper.
Yeah.
Mom's gonna be late. I'll have to run home.
Yeah, or like I had a friend, this wouldn't be me because I'm not a reader, but I had a friend that, like, reading, whenever she'd read, it was like it pulled her away to where 6 hours have passed and she didn't even think about it,
Well, and
you know?
that's true. Before you could listen to, well, I guess you've always been able to listen to tapes on books, but I didn't. I'd always read before iPads came along or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Read a book, and yes, it's true. All of a sudden there'd be all this time, but now I can put headphones on and do a bunch of other stuff
Mm-hmm.
while I'm listening to a book.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I don't know,
mean,
but
I'm not an advocate for for sitting on our phone. I'm just saying I thought about
yeah,
that one
no,
day.
I know what
Like,
you mean. But I'll tell you what, this is what reels used to be this to me. Like it used to be a way to like decompress for me.
Yeah.
Maybe not other people, but for me it was a way to decompress. And before we had phones for me to just decompress on, I would do Sudoku, or word searches. That was my thing to
Decompressing.
decompress. I
Right.
never do those anymore, ever.
Yeah. But are you saying that's a bad thing?
Well, no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm not using my mind like I used to before. I was thinking. Now I don't really think as much. I'm just getting my
Fed.
thoughts put in for me or whatever,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not having to think, where before I'd have to actually use my brain.
Well, I think that and also the connection to reality, those are the two things that the phone takes away kind of like okay, if you got carried away with reading, you're being smarter, like you have to use your brain more to read and interpret, but also, it's like a real story about, I don't know. It's a real life interactivity.
Well, yeah, reading though, you could make reading you read to be taken away. I can't think of the right word to
Right.
whatever.
To escape.
You know what I
Yeah.
escape. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And do you do that on your phone too? Is it a way to escape?
Well, we're kind of a generation that's interesting because our generation is the only generation that knew life before the internet and after the internet. Like our children will not know those two lives. They
Right.
only know the existence of the internet. So when we sit and look at it, we know like this is what we've lost and this is what we used to do. This is and and so it's really easy for us to sit and be like, well, I used to sew and I used to do this and I used to, but is it like an outdated thinking?
Well, sometimes when that comes up with my kids, I am surprised that they don't just automatically value something that I'll value, that I say, but you haven't done this like in a year. And they'll be like, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like will life past our generation once we're all dead and no longer people exist that lived in pre-internet phone life? Is this going to be a concern
Yeah, maybe
anymore?
not. Yeah.
It's interesting to
Yeah, I
think
don't
about,
know.
you know. Cuz I mean
Yeah.
for me I don't do a lot of reels and stuff like that. Like what I get pulled into is information, like learning. Like I really read a lot of articles and I learn about, I mean, I'm not trying to say like I'm this intellect. That's just the rabbit holes I go down. Like I'll get an idea and I want to research about it. And it does the same thing to me. I mean, I'll sit for 2 hours and just be like, whoa, the clock like was fast forwarding during that time. And I know that I have some kids that are similar to that. Like they learn a lot, and I think, well, I mean, probably the next generation is like, well, it's not the fact that like you're on the phone, it's the content that you're choosing to do when you're on the phone. Like maybe that'll be more their concern, not so much like, oh, I haven't, done cross stitch for a long time. They'll just be like, who even cares about that?
Right. Or like how we talk so much about screen time, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe the next generation won't worry about screen time. They'll just worry about what you did on your screen time.
Right.
And it'll
Right.
just
Right.
be assumed
Well,
that everyone has 10 hours of screen time a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
yeah.
the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point about us being the only generation that's before and after.
I read
Mhm.
something about, I mean, that wasn't my own,
Yeah.
like, oh, I realized I've read about
Mhm.
that, how our generation,
Mhm.
like we have a lot of fear wrapped around our kids with the internet because we don't know how to navigate it as children and as teenagers. We're just like, it's
Well,
unknown.
I heard this. I don't know if it's true. I heard that since social media, the younger a child is introduced to social media, the worse off with anxiety and depression and other things they have,
Hmm.
as opposed to a child who didn't get introduced at such a young age,
Hmm.
later in life. They don't have the same thing. So, I mean, I don't know. There's probably studies, and maybe that's where I've read it. I don't know. So, I mean, I guess, like, to yours, to what you're saying, Katie, like learning and all this stuff on the internet, it is good, but also, what is the I mean,
Cost.
instead of we're using
Right.
cross stitch, but another
Yeah.
hobby someone
Hmm.
has, like, um,
Would
instead
have
of
been
doing their
better for
fun
them.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
instead of doing
sure.
their fun thing, they've
Hmm.
now done,
Yeah,
so,
and just to be clear, I am not pro
no, I
phones
know
or
you're not
anything,
pro.
but I've
You're
thought
just putting
before.
it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I wish I could scoop my kids up and take them to the 80s. I really do. Because, I
Well, yeah,
mean,
there's tons
in
of
my mind, they'd be way better off.
yeah,
But
there's tons of reels that I've watched about going back to the 80s.
I know everyone loves to talk about the 80s. How that was our generation was the best one. But
Yeah.
this is okay. I'm going to give you this again. I'm just putting it out there. And
Right.
I don't know if I've said this but this is my own that I've thought. When the telephone was invented, you know, there was no way for people to talk to each other except for in person, I assume, unless you're like sending messages through
Yeah.
Pony
But yeah.
Express or whatever. So when the phone was invented, telephone, I'm sure that that generation that was used to no telephone as opposed to after telephone would sit and say, well, you don't make any personal connections anymore. Like
Right.
you just pick up a phone. Like before, remember the day we'd walk over to the neighbor and we'd talk about life, and now you
Mhm.
don't need to do that. And like people are like not connecting anymore, and people
Yeah.
aren't building relationships, and because what they knew before the phone was much superior, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you go through generations and then that's all you know. And so like you it's not like, is it a sad thing because we're not living 100 years ago before whatever technology has come along, you know?
Yeah.
It's
But
just
there's also the pace of the change is so much faster now, you know? Like
mhm,
Yeah.
with the internet and technology, it's not, it is comparable to the phone, I guess, but it's kind of a whole another level because, the phone started off and everyone could hear your conversations. It was the party
mhm.
line. And
Oh
then you
yeah.
got your own line. And then, like it was much slower steps, kind of.
Right.
Whereas
Well,
here from '08 to 18, we had this like totally pervasive crisis, whatever it is, in 10
yeah,
years.
but at the same time, like it brought, like Dan and I just the other day were talking about how if we needed to know about anything when we were young, we stepped to the encyclopedias. I mean, that was
Mhm.
really like our reference for anything.
Yeah.
And so, or
Homework.
your
Yeah.
parents or your teachers, but the encyclopedia, I mean, how many hours did we spend reading the
Oh,
encyclopedia?
yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I think,
Mhm.
well, I mean, good or bad, we do have a lot of information at our
Oh,
fingertips.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Um,
That's totally good. And actually,
so
that's going to take away from parenting like ChatGPT. Why would someone ask me about their homework when they can have
yeah,
ChatGPT that knows
yeah,
thousands of times more than me about
yeah,
math?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Yeah.
even
And
close.
Yep.
again, like our kids are probably going to sit and they'll have their set of things that they're like, oh man, this generation has it so bad because they
Yeah.
didn't have this, or they
Yes.
are the changes. I mean, I just think changes are inevitable, and I
Yep.
just feel like the oldies in the world at the time have a hard time seeing like how to feel about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's true.
And then our next generation, they're going to sit and be like, remember when our parents were so scared about screen time? Ha ha ha. You know,
Right. And they'll be
Yeah.
saying things like we're saying. They'll be like, oh man, AI was so innocent when I was a teenager, and now look at it. I wish
yeah.
they could go back to 2025
Yeah. Or maybe
or
they were
Yeah.
six. I
like,
mean,
remember when everyone was so scared about chat GBT and using it in school and all this stuff? And like, that was totally stupid because it wasn't, it's like, you know, I mean, their
Oh
perspective will be
yeah.
so different than ours, you know,
right.
Well, it's like
like all their
music. It's
concerns.
like I remember my mom being like, "What crap are you guys listening to?" And it's
Yeah.
like, it's rock, it's our music. It's what we
Yeah.
listen to right now.
Yeah.
I
There
mean,
was all this, like, if you played a record backwards, you could hear, I think we've talked about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's
Yeah.
like no one even thinks about that. And like
No.
the dangers of TV and like, well, now we're like, yeah, isn't that fun that we're all sitting and watching a movie? Like that is turned into from something that's like too much TV consumption, rots your brain. And now it's like TV is like the least of our. I think that
Oh,
every
yeah.
generation feels
Yes.
because they knew what life was before whatever,
Mhm.
there's a hard it's hard to understand the shift in society when you're somebody older that knew before, but then like our kids will have a new set of what's okay and what's not to
Well, I
fear.
think then what you're
And
saying is we're thinking, oh, you're missing out on like, because you're thinking of the 80s, all the stuff we used to do. And
mhm,
now in our minds, it's like you're missing out on all this social stuff because you're sitting here on your phones. And they're like, who cares? We're saying, like, you guys are missing out on like
something that's
kick the
no
can.
longer, yeah, right,
Yeah,
you
you
name it,
know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, hanging
like
out at the
whatever.
mall, you know,
And you're saying to them, screen time isn't going to be a big deal. Like, 'cause,
right,
you know, screen time is like everyone's like saying screen time is bad for your kids, mental health, whatever.
yeah.
You're saying, they're saying it's not going to be a big
Well,
deal.
I'm assuming that because I'm saying that I think every generation kind of goes through that with the next generation. Like I think
Yeah.
that we have a idea of what is okay in life and what's not okay, and when that shifts and changes, we tend to be fearful of that. Like kids are going down the tubes.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is in our minds, we're like thinking, but you're missing out on
Mm-hmm.
this outdoor, this thing. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, we're not missing out on anything. This is
Life.
what we like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just back to that phone thing I was talking about. Even
Yes.
though
Yeah.
that was slower, but I'm just saying, like the generation prior to phones, I'm sure went to their deathbed saying to themselves, people are missing out these days.
Remember when Myrtle and I used to actually visit face to
We saw
face
each other every day
every
and we
day?
talked
Yeah.
about recipes and we, you know, and you had to go out to your neighbor to
You
like
made
one
a
of the
real
biggest
connection.
yeah, yeah. Like one of the things that we're concerned about with the next generation is lack of community, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a real
Yeah.
big problem, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling, just like every generation, that the next generation will figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out in whatever, you know. I think there's a lot of like fear that's thrown at us about certain things that are changing. It's like texting, right? Remember when texting became so big? I didn't have kids at the time that could text, but I had nieces and nephews that did. And I was like, well, this is a joke. They don't even talk to each other anymore. You know, now
Yeah.
if we only had texting and that was our biggest problem, we'd be like, text all you want. We don't care.
So if you get a phone call, you're like, seriously, you can't just text what you need to
Yeah, I
say.
know.
I
We
know.
complain about it.
I know. But remember
And
all
we like
this.
feel bad. We like need a super extra big excuse to make a phone call to someone, you know, like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
this is really
Sorry.
urgent.
Yeah, it's only take a second. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And like, I remember, like, there were Oprah Winfrey shows about texting, how it was making
Mm,
kids this or that, or obsessed with
really.
their phone. Don't you remember all that about texting? It was like
Well,
this
only thing I
huge
remember about
social
texting
problem.
was that people were saying things that they normally wouldn't say, voicing it. They can text it because it's easier to text something
Right.
terrible than it is to say it.
Yeah. And that was the older generation looking at the new thing and saying, well, this is a problem with these kids.
And now we
And
say that about social media. Is
that's
that what
right.
you were going to
That's
say?
right. Yeah.
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 Like, it's causing this big problem. I remember it was like kids were texting 30,000 times in a week, and these kids were becoming zombies using their phones for
Texting.
texting, you know?
Hmm. Yeah,
Anything in life is all about moderation. So I think if you
for sure.
have a problem with anything that's keeping you away from living your life, then that could be a problem. Don't you think? I mean, that's basically like
Well,
It's
that's what we're
how
saying.
you live
Yeah.
life,
it's
you
like
know?
the old question of can you be addicted to something good, or is addiction always bad?
Yeah.
Like what if you're
Hmm.
addicted to something good? It's still taking you away from your life. It's still like interrupting your family, work,
Yeah.
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
keeping you up at night.
I actually like this because all this time, doom scrolling, I just thought I'm doom scrolling because I was
Yeah.
just scrolling,
Yeah.
and it's like for no reason, but just for my own stupid entertainment,
Hmm.
like,
You're just wasting
but
time.
yeah, wasting time.
Yeah.
But now that you read that, I'm so glad you did pull it up and read it because now I know
Hmm.
I'm not going to tell anyone I doom scroll.
Yeah. They're like, what are you
I just
watching?
waste time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They need a term for that, you know.
Yeah. There probably is a term.
Hmm.
I'm going to look it up. It says the most common term for wasting time scrolling social media is doom scrolling, but
That's
it
why we
says which
say it.
means compulsively consuming negative news. But more general terms for this addictive time consuming habit include binge scrolling. Binge
Oh,
scrolling.
there we go. Binge
That's
scroll.
it.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I
Yeah.
binge scroll. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Uh-huh.
You know, I didn't even get to bring up my favorite saying in this debate, which is uh, family time is screen time. I mean, sorry, screen time is family time if you do it together.
That's right.
Because
That's
look at
right.
us. Look at us. We're together.
We're the perfect example.
We are.
Yes. Well, that was a good
Discussion.
yeah, off the cuff topic. I liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, me too. Interesting to think about it.
I love that kind of stuff because
Mm-hmm.
it really gets you thinking. So I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've laughed, we've learned, we've
Learned.
lived, laugh, we've loved. Well, yeah, we
Oh,
love
there's
each
your
Yes,
new
we've
saying,
loved.
Nate.
Yes, Nay.
Live, laugh,
Don't
and
be
love.
afraid to show your emotions.
Hey, Kim and Katie, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Toodle,
Oh, wait.
toodaloo.
Uh, take it easy.
Safe travel. Oh, wait. Take
No.
it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. My fact checks, my 2 cents on last week's episode. Other fun facts.
All right. So we used to have a tower garden. We actually still have it, but we stopped doing it. So Disney invented that, the whole system, the water, no dirt, just like roots and water. One of the rides in Epcot, you learn about it. Disney World actually grows most of its own food, and they grow it like on site there too. It's pretty cool. So Epcot at Disney World, the original idea for Epcot, it was supposed to be this like super science 100% sustainability community. But obviously it never turned into that. But like the original footprint for it, they kept that. And then obviously they turned it into an amusement park. Walt Disney was into cutting edge scientific utopia. Anyway, textures. phobias. I don't like textures, certain textures, and it's a visual thing. All of a sudden, I'll just be like, gosh, like I am like wildly uncomfortable. Anyway, all right, guess that's it. Okay, bye.
Hey, Kim and Katie. I'm just commenting on last week's episode about the phobias and cracking up about the trypophobia. Paige, great job bringing that to our attention. And I saw the photo of the bean legs, and I'm grossed out. Anyway, I love the idea of of camp bean legs to try to get people to face their phobias. And I think all you need is like just a vacant elevator somewhere, get a bunch of them, just cram them all in there, and then they can face their fear of claustrophobia. While you're at it, you can just take a photo from above with all their perfect circular little heads all compacted together and make them look at the photo. And they can handle all those fears at once. Anyway, bye.